Oh, it's Dave. So, a quick update on what I've been doing. Not a huge amount over the last couple of weeks. We went away to Silverstone last weekend, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Went, not a big camper, but we went and camped, and that was just an amazing weekend. Super weather. When you look outside now and it's raining and miserable and thundery, I can't believe how good it was last weekend. So that was fantastic. But I do have lots of updates, all kind of like minor bits and pieces. Where shall I start? I think I'll start over here. Whilst looking under the car, I noticed this. So this spring is broken. Kind of a shame, but I think I need to put a stronger spring in anyway because of the weight in the boot. So going to have to do that at some point. What else have we done? I've got the front bumper's off now, which is great because it just gives me access while I'm doing the batteries, and I've given that a really good polish, so that's great and looking really shiny. The previous owner had kind of doctored their own kind of logo, but got rid of all that, which is nice. Over here I've been doing some electronics, and I've bought some LED displays which I'm going to use to display the battery level, the state of health. So have I got some spare ones over here? I do. So these kind of 4-digit displays, and they're really cool. They take a power, so ground and power, and a serial input, and you can display whatever you like. So I haven't actually got any video of that working, but I have actually done the code, and it talks to the BMS, gets the battery state of health. So it's about 80% of my batteries, and in here I have already mounted it in the dashboard. Now I've done some 3D printing, which I've got here. There's a couple of iterations while I was just getting it to be all correct. It won't be white, the final product will be black printed, but I just don't have any black filament at the moment. And that's in the dash, not in the dash, in the middle console. It's not all wired in yet, but it just takes a couple of wires to fed through. I've already got some spare ones from the previous RX8, so that's good because that'll mean in the inside the car you'll be able to see how much battery you've got left, but it's only going to be a percentage. So I kind of was thinking, how will you know how far to go? And I guess the logic is, if you've got somewhere and you've got less than 50% charge left, you're not going to be able to get home. I might do, as I know the efficiency of the car, know how many miles it can do something else clever and actually show a mileage, but at the moment I haven't really got much of an idea what it's going to do. So in the boot here, I don't know how easy you can see in the boot. You can't see at all. Just see a little bit. So this gap right in the back, I didn't think the batteries would fit in there. I was going to put them under the floor, but I've measured and I've actually got about 8mm spare, which I can't believe it, to be honest. So these batteries, this row here, actually fits in behind the seats. So that's fantastic news. That really is going to save a lot of work, because I thought I was going to have to go below the boots, because there's a lot of space under here where all the exhausts were. Ton of space. I thought, yeah, I'll use that. But of course it is a lot of modification, and there's also here and here 2 structural beams which the batteries don't fit in between. So that was going to be a nightmare. But now I know it fits in between behind the seats, slots in there. Awesome, that's going to be good, because it'll also then give you boot space to use. This cavity, I think I'll put the BMS and the relays in here, put a lid on it, so you'll still have a boot here to use in the car. That's an absolute bonus. Up at the front, what have I been doing here? As I say, I've stripped all, I've been doing a bit of cleaning as well, as I said previously. I'm just going to kind of just clean the cars and going round, make it kind of, not a show car, but just making it nice. So I've just been cleaning bits and pieces. And I have cut a section here out of this front section. And that is because if I come round to the battery box is going to fit here. And if I come round and go backwards towards my own feet, can I see this? Yeah, not really, can't really see it. But this is the box here that I've mocked up. I've got the box in there, and you lift that up. You can kind of visualize now, if you lift that box up, for it to fit above the floor tray, it has to come in, and I've had to cut part of this away. This isn't a particularly structural part of the car. Doesn't do anything for handling or anything like that, as far as I can tell. I'm probably going to get told otherwise now and tell me how the car's going to fall apart, but that's going to come up. I'm going to build braces here and here, which are going to go down, and also this is kind of a bracket that's bolted on that held all the radiators and stuff in place. There's another one over here. Take those off, and these braces are going to go down, under, bolt into those two sides, so these batteries will then sit on that structure. So that's the front batteries, and that's the back batteries that you've seen a minute ago. Let's just spin this around. So I've then been measuring the aluminium I need, and I've now ordered all the aluminium. I've been over here practicing my aluminium welding. So this is welded in here, super strong. That's 2 bits of aluminium that I put together. I've learned a huge amount. That's just one testing. I've been doing various bits. The biggest thing that I've been realising with the aluminium welding is that you have to get the aluminium very close to its melting point before the solder melts, and if you have the aluminium under any load, even its own weight, when it gets near that melting point, it kind of starts to move and sag. So when you're aluminium brazing, then you just need to make sure that the aluminium isn't under any stress, any tension at all, because then when you get it hot, it just stays in shape and you can just then braze it. If it's under any stress, even its own weight, it'll sag, and you're like, oh great, I've lost its fall. So that's been really important in all the testing that I've done there. That's great. Anything else I've done? Done the 3D printing, the batteries, ordered the aluminium. I've ordered some pre-cut, so it's right sizes, but I've ordered it so that if you imagine the boxes are obviously 6-sided with a lid, 3 of the sides I'm going to fold, so that's going to be entertaining, seeing if I can actually fold the aluminium. I've got a good idea how I'm going to do it, and I'll probably share that in another video. So I'm going to fold 3 sides and then put a front and a back on, and obviously the fold will be underneath, just for that extra strength, because as much as I think the brazing is pretty strong, I think having the actual one physical piece is going to be even better. The next thing I'm actually going to do, which I'll probably keep on this video, is these headlamps. See how foggy they are? And this one as well. Both front fog lights. I have looked at these previously and polished the life out of them, and it's not made any difference really. So I just wasn't aggressive enough. You have to use a very coarse grit sandpaper, like a 60 coarse, then 100, then 150, then 200, and so on. You can look on YouTube, there's tons of videos about how to restore them. And I bought this over here, which is basically a bag full of different coarse sandpapers. So this is 60 grit, and they're going to bolt onto, just Velcro onto my drill. And then I've actually got absolutely tons of them. I think it goes all the way up to maybe 5,000, that's 3,000. I'm just going to work my way through and see if I can restore these headlamps to super duper gleaminess. So the back ones are okay. So the back ones probably just need a polish, don't need any really coarse stuff, they are still very clear. Oh, another thing I've bought is some, oh, you can't see it on camera at all. Ha! If I put that there, you can kind of see it. Some black metal, what do you call it, wire mesh. And what these are going to be for are on the exhaust pods. I think I've said before that the exhaust pods have got a hole in, and that's just going to look really, really silly, because obviously there used to be an exhaust going through there. But I'm going to put the grill, which on camera looks exactly the same, but it isn't. It is a lot. Oh my god, you just can't see that on camera at all, can you? Ha! But anyway, it does look pretty cool, and that's going to go on the back of the pods to just when it's back installed in the car, just to mask that area off. It might need 2 layers of it, to be fair. It isn't super dark, just 1 layer. And I keep meaning to buy the spray paint to get these sprayed up, but I need to do that and spray. I'm going to spray this back as well to spray it all up nicely. That'll be the back of the car done. So I think I'm just going to crack on with the headlamps, and I'm not going to bore you showing you hours of sanding and smoothing. I will probably take a photo, and maybe take a photo at each stage, at each grit level that I work down, and then just go and you'll see it kind of before and after. So I think that's going to be my next couple of hours work. I'll do that next, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Wow, so I think you'll appreciate by those pictures that that's made a huge difference. I mean, that's only taken me hour and a half, maybe hour and 3/4, not long. Couple of top tips if you are going to do this yourself. So if I come over here to the light, so here's the one I've done. I mean, look at that, look at how clear that is. If I come over to the original one, look at that. Old, new, I mean that's made a huge difference. Now top tips, obviously you're going to start with 60 grain. When you sand it, don't, if you can see these scratches that aren't caused by that grit level, then you've not sanded enough. Keep sanding until the scratches you see have been caused by the grit that you're using. And then when you move to 80, again, sand down, but if you can see any scratches that weren't caused by the 80 grit, then keep on going. The reason for that is that obviously you're going to move up the grit levels and it gets harder and harder to remove those deep scratches. So just make sure at each stage the scratches you see at the end have been caused by the grit level that you're using. My cat's just come in to say hello. Here, Gizmo. I did make a mistake and I didn't follow that advice I'd just given, and I was sanding and I had scratches I couldn't get rid of, so I had to go back a few levels to then get rid of those scratches and come back through again. I think you'd agree, that's pretty awesome. I can see some scratching in there, but I mean, Christ, yeah, I'm being really picky to be honest. So that's really cool. I'll go have some lunch now and then attack this one. Oh, another top tip is put something on the floor. I've been a right mess. Yeah, got it everywhere, so I'm going to hoover up, clean up, put something down, do this other side, and I'll give you a little preview of them both. Well, I've done both sides and they've come out amazing, to be honest. I can't believe how kind of easy that is. It's a bit of a ball ache. I mean, I've been doing it, what, 3 hours now? So, you know, kind of get a little bit stir crazy with sanding after that amount of time, but they've both come up really good. Only next top tip really is I said about making sure that you can't see any of the scratches from the previous grit that you used, because you just can't go back. You have to use the next grit to get rid of the previous grit scratches, and if you carry on and there's some deep ones left, you're just never going to get them out. And I found the best way of making sure you've done that is go left to right on one grit level. So if you do 60 left to right, and then if the next grit level's 80, go vertically. And so you can then see, if you can only see vertical stripes, then you know you've got rid of all the horizontal ones. Move to the next one, switch over, switch over, switch over. I didn't do that because I only kind of figured that out halfway through the second light, but they've come out really well anyway. But if you do that technique, it's just going to be a lot easier, because the second one I did, I got right to the end and there were scratches that I couldn't get rid of, so I had to go back to like a middle grit to find the balance and go, yeah, this is the one I need to get rid of those scratches. So really good though. I mean, the results are, well, speak for themselves really. I mean, look at that. Don't know how well they come out. It's obviously quite bright in here with the lights and stuff, but yeah, I mean, compared to what they were, they're pretty amazing. I can still see some scratches on there, so you could probably go a lot harder with some earlier, more coarser grits and really sand it right back. But you know what? That's pretty damn good for now. So all I've got to do now is wait for my aluminium. I think my next video will probably be about making the boxes and trials and tribulations to come. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.